If you always wanted to have a bit more of an exotic sound in your soloing, have something else in your back pocket that you can bust out to give you a bit of a different sound and a bit of a different flavor. A lot of guitarists want this. I know I did when I was learning, especially listening to guys like Marty Friedman and whatnot. And what most people will do is they think they have to learn all these new scales, and that is all valid and that is all a great thing to do. But why don't we just start off with one note? Make it easy. Instead of trying to learn all these new scales and taking an eternity to actually use them in a musical way. So today we're going to learn about a note known as the flat 2. This is one of the more exotic sounding notes, and we're just going to use my method of adding it to a pentatonic scale. So you don't need to learn 17 new scales. We're just going to add this one note to our pentatonic scale, which you are probably already familiar with. So before I actually show you how to play it, let me show you what it sounds like. Okay, I'll just loop something in A minor. So, I'm going to play a pentatonic scale and adding this flat 2 note. Right, so you can see, or hear as well, that sounds quite a lot more exotic than just a standard pentatonic scale. And all I'm doing is adding one note, the flat 2, and because I understand that the flat 2 note is going to be the note that sounds exotic, I can actually intentionally target it so that I can get that flavor or get that exotic sound. Okay, I'm not just playing some new shape of some scale I don't understand and just hoping for the best. So now let's get into how you can actually play this. And just a disclaimer, we're going to be using these horizontal pentatonic shapes that I've just been babbling on about for the last month or so and I'm obsessed with. And if you're not familiar with these horizontal pentatonic shapes, I'll put a link in the description below to a video where I explain them. Alright, so looking at the first diagram, all the green notes are the notes from the horizontal pentatonic shapes, or just the pentatonic scale, and the notes with R in the middle are the root notes. Okay, so you line up the root note with whatever your key is that you're targeting, and this will put you in the right place. But for now, we're going to line up that R on the 5th fret of the E string to give us an A note, because we're just going to keep to the key of A for this lesson. So, I have my root note here on the 5th fret. I can play this green note back here. Now, back to the root note. Now, if I play this note here, this red note is our flat 2. This is our exotic sounding note, and I'm playing that with my pinky. Then I go to the next note, 3rd fret A string, 5th fret A string, do my slide across. Next green note on the 5th fret of the D string, 7th fret on the D string, then I have another flat 2, red note here, exotic sounding note. I use my pinky to play that on the 8th fret on the D string. Then I play the 5th fret on the G. Then I play the 7th fret on the G for the next green note. Here I've written a little note, and it says at this note you can either continue following the green notes to play the horizontal pentatonic shapes, or you can play inside this blue box for position 1 of your standard vertical shapes. So that just means when you get to here, you have the option to play the pink note next, which will give you your notes in pattern 1 of the pentatonic scale. So if we go through that, I play the pink note, 5th fret on the B string, the green note on the 8th fret of the B string, then I get to a root note, which is that pink note with the R, then I have a flat 2 here, then I can use my pinky to play the next green note. Right, so this is quite a good little box, right, using pattern 1 of the pentatonic scale. Or, when I get to that green note, I can slide across, following that arrow. That is the other option, if I want to continue going horizontal across the fretboard. Okay, then I'm playing the 8th fret on the B string, 10th fret on the B string, which is a root note. Then I can go across to another flat 2, my exotic note, and then I play the 8th fret of the high E, 10th fret of the high E, then across to the 12th. Right, then I can go backwards, 12, 10, 8, the flat 2, the root note, on the G, 9th fret, slide backwards, 5th fret of the G, flat 2, root note, just going back down. Right, so if I play that a bit more up to speed, starting from the note behind the root note, flat 2, flat 2. Now stopping here, I have the option to either play those pink notes in the blue box to have some pentatonic 1 style licks going on, or I can keep going across, which I will do for now. Right, root note on the 10th fret, flat 2, 8, 10, 12. Right, so that is our first box, or our first horizontal pentatonic shape with the flat 2 added. Hopefully that all makes sense. Now we're going to move on to the next diagram, and this is the same idea but using our second horizontal shape where our root note is based on the A string. This means we can play in a totally different spot on the fretboard and cover more of the fretboard. And this one, because the root note's on the A string, I'm going to find A note on the A string, which will be the 12th fret, and I'm going to line up the orange note with R in it with that, and this will put me into the key of A. I can still play the notes behind it, but I just line up that root note to find my place. Okay, so let's start actually on that root note, on that R, 12th fret of the A. Then I have a flat 2 right beside it. Then I go 10th fret of the D, 12th fret of the D, slide across to the 14th fret of the D, then the 12th of the G. Then we get to another root note on the 14th of the G. Then I have a flat 2 here. Then I have the 13th fret on the B string, then the 15th fret, and here I didn't put an arrow for some reason, but you have the option on this note. You can either play the pink note to put yourself in pattern 4 of the vertical pentatonic shapes. Okay, so that would be here, which is quite a good spot, or I can keep following the orange notes and slide across going horizontally, which I'll do for now. Right, so now I'm on the 17th fret, now the 15th fret, now on the 17th on the high E with a root note, then I have a flat 2 here, then a root note, then we go backwards. Right, so I'll go through it a bit more quickly. So starting from the root note, I'll go backwards, back up to the root note, flat 2, going up, flat 2. Now here I have the option, I can play the pink note for some pattern 4, or I can slide across to go horizontally, flat 2, back to the root. Cool, so that is how you would play the second horizontal shape with the flat 2 added. Now, if we look at the third diagram, this is those two shapes overlaid with each other, so you can play all over the fretboard adding these flat 2s in. So if we start again from the green notes, okay, I have my root note on the 5th fret, so I'm in the key of A, and then I can play this note 2 frets back, right, root note, flat 2, going up, following the green notes, 5th fret D, root note, flat 2, 5th fret G, 7th fret. Now for now, I'm going to slide across to play the next green note, following the arrow. 8th fret of the B, 10th fret of the B, which is a root note. Have a flat 2 here. Right, then I get to the 12th fret of the E, which is the top of the green notes. Now, at this note, you have some options. I can either follow the brown lines, which is pattern 3 of the vertical pentatonic shapes, and I can add the flat 2 in. So if I follow those brown lines, I play the 12th fret, a green note, which will be on the 10th fret of the E, then I play this orange note, which is the 13th fret of the B, then a flat 2, then a green root note, 12th fret of the G, right, just following the brown lines, and now I'm linked up to my second horizontal pentatonic shape in the key of A, right, on the root note there. Or, here is your second option. When I'm on that 12th fret of the high E, I can slide across 3 frets with that and follow the purple lines, and now I'm in that pattern 4 box of the vertical shapes, which again links me up to those orange notes or that second horizontal pentatonic shape. Cool? Hopefully that's making sense. Now if I wanted to link the second horizontal shape back to the first one, so if I get to the top of it, when I get to this root note, you can see there's an arrow. At this note, I can either slide across following the green lines to link me back to position 1 of the vertical pentatonic shapes or the green notes just up an octave. So if I'm on the 17th fret of the high E, I can slide across, to that green note, right, which will be on the 20th fret. Yes, the 20th fret. And then I have a flat 2 here, a root note, green note, orange note, and now I'm in that first horizontal pentatonic shape, just up an octave. And I can go up that, ran out of frets on that flat 2, because I have a grown-up's guitar, as Guthrie Govan would say. It only has 22 frets, not 24. So that is how you link the entire fretboard together and adding this flat 2. So I'll go through everything from the beginning to the end. So starting all the way down here, 5th fret on the E string, go through those notes. On this green note, I have the option of doing some pattern 1 stuff. Alright, then I can slide across. Top of the green note. Now here I have the option to either go down the brown notes or slide across to the purple notes. I'll follow the brown lines for now, which brings me to the orange notes. Then I can go up those. Then here I can slide across to get to the green notes again, playing pattern 1. And I can go up that if I want. Now I don't have enough frets to play that flat 2 there, but if I had a different guitar I could. And then I finish off on this note here. So that is how we add a flat 2 and make our pentatonic scales sound a lot more exotic. And hopefully this all made sense, but as always, if you have any questions, just leave them below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.